What's good, Hoopers? Welcome into NBA Now by Chat Sports. I am Chase Sr. Coming your way, a mailbag here on the show where I take your questions about anything pertaining to the NBA. It can be wild, it can be wacky, it can be conjecture, it can be anything. It's part of the beauty of what we do here at Chat Sports. Faisal, hopefully I said that right. NBA, for point guard market, if someone like Lowry or Conley or Dinwiddie or even Dennis Schroder wants big money, they're only New York Knicks who has salary cap. Is that right? Or is that any team that can afford it? Okay, I'm going to try to simplify that as much as possible. For the point guard market, Dinwiddie expected to be a free agent, opt out of his deal with the Nets. Dennis Schroder going to be a free agent as well. I think Dinwiddie and Schroder are going to make a lot of money. I think Dinwiddie is the better player. I think he lends himself more so to being a championship-like player. The New York Knicks, if you're asking me about point guards, they're going to be in play for one because that's the biggest need on the Knicks roster this offseason is, in fact, point guard. I think they should bring in a guy like Kyle Lowry. If Chris Paul somehow opts out of his contract, they could be players for CP3, Dennis Schroder, Mike Conley, guys like that. But no doubt the Knicks are going to be active when it comes to looking for point guards. Olympics, not far off in the distance. USA is struggling. They've already lost a couple of exhibition games so far. Who will win gold in the Olympics? I know we have an international audience here at Chat Sports. Shout out your country if you think they're going to compete and win gold during the Olympics. Get those predictions in the comment section. Another $5 super chat, this one coming in from Ravon. AD, Kuzma, and a first for Dame and Nurkic. Great content, guys. We appreciate you watching as always. AD, Kuzma, and a first for Dame and Nurkic. In terms of salary, AD for Dame straight up does work. If the Blazers want a generational player back, they get that with Anthony Davis. Kuzma, maybe the Blazers are banking on him returning to what he was a couple years ago before LeBron and AD started taking all of the touches, which just ruined his confidence, which I think is kind of on him. First round pick. Might get it done as well. Lakers at 22 in this upcoming draft. Definitely an interesting trade idea there from Ravon. I hope you all love what we're doing here at Chat Sports because I certainly love my job here at Chat Sports and I want to continue to work here. So help us out, get us to 250,000 subscribers because if we don't in the next couple of days, I might disappear and vanish like some characters on Breaking Bad, which a lot of us are rewatching here at Chat Sports. So either hit that red subscribe button down below or go to youtube.com/chatsportstv. Subscribe us and join our live NBA mailbags where we answer all of your NBA-related questions right here on the show. Marquis Robertson with this question coming in. Chase Sr., Marquis Robertson. Do you see the Lakers trading for Kevin Love? Maybe. Kevin Love would have to negotiate a buyout with Cleveland, and his salary would get spread out over, I think, 5 years to kind of absorb that astronomically high salary. And as we know, LeBron James, he really likes veteran players. He has a previous relationship with Kevin Love. They have some Olympic ties. They played together in Cleveland, of course, and helped bring the Larry O.B. to Cleveland, winning that championship over the Golden State Warriors. This past year, Kevin Love, he only played in a limited amount of games, 12.2 points per game, 7.5 rebounds. I think he can still be a very good player. He's not going to be an elite player, a very good one. Maybe he's an option for the Lakers. You look at their front court situation, and they could use a player who can space the floor, who has championship experience, who has played with LeBron and knows him well, so possibly. Jiggle Jackson, what a name. I love it. Who should the Lakers target at number 22? The popular consensus among some draft experts, it's Chris Duarte out of Oregon. He's a long forward who can also play a little guard depending on what lineup you tried out there, a decent defender, but he's more than a 40% three-point shooter, and I think the Lakers really need to bring in elite three-point shooters to space the floor with LeBron and AD. I'd look at Chris Duarte at number 22 if they don't trade out of that pick. Move ahead with this question from Davis Painter. Would Kuzma and Trez and a first-round pick be enough for Buddy Hield? You know what? I haven't thought about that, Davis, but it's a good question because if Buddy Hield continues to have a contentious relationship with the Kings, which is what it has been over time, and he wants out, does he try to force a trade? And if the Kings want to get back some value and some young pieces, Montrezl Harrell has a player option. Could that be an option? Kyle Kuzma is a player who hasn't lived up to expectations with the Lakers. Could he become better with less pressure in Sacramento? I think there's still some ability there. A first-round pick on top of that, I actually think that'd be enough to get it done. Anish Anand with this question: has KD taken LeBron's title as best basketball player in the world? Yeah, I was saying this like 2 years ago, and I thought it was a viable argument to make. Right now, given KD's injury troubles, and look, he didn't suffer any major injuries this past year, but was still banged up from time to time. LeBron was injured too, if we're being honest. It's very, very close. I think they're neck and neck. All time, it's going to be LeBron. A reason why I think KD is chasing rings like he is, he wants to catch up to LeBron. Let's move ahead in this mailbag with this question from Charles Rollins. Should OKC go after Kuzma or Ben Simmons? I don't think they want to go after Ben Simmons because Ben Simmons is a win-now player. Do you want to go after Kyle Kuzma? I think he's an intriguing trade target. He's only on the books for the next couple of seasons at $13 million. So if he plays like the player who we saw was a decent scorer as a rookie and in his second year on some, frankly, bad teams, especially his second year when I believe LeBron James is out of the lineup, I think Kyle Kuzma can recapture some of that magic. It's just so hard for a young player to play good basketball alongside LeBron and alongside Anthony Davis. You don't get as many shot opportunities. There's also a ton of pressure. I think going to OKC for Kuzma would do wonders for his confidence. The Rainbow Cow, who is winning NBA Finals MVP? It's a very good question. I hope that Chris Paul wins it because it'll do so much for his legacy. Can you just imagine what will happen if Chris Paul wins the NBA Finals MVP and an NBA championship? It puts him in that top 5 point guards of all time list alongside Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas. Steve Nash also in that category as well. John Stockton might be on the outside looking into that top 5 category. Oscar Robertson really good as well. But this postseason has done so much for Chris Paul's legacy. I hope he wins NBA Finals MVP because he certainly deserves a lot of that recognition, praise, and respect. Kunta Kenta Jr., who do you think will win MVP next season? Hashtag NBA. There are a lot of really good options. Of course, you're going to throw out guys like Kevin Durant, Nikola Jokic, but other players who you're looking at who don't have MVPs yet. How about Damian Lillard? How about Jason Tatum? Steph Curry could potentially win yet another MVP. You can make the argument he should have won this past season. Luka Doncic has not yet won an MVP either early on in his career. He's due to win an MVP at some point, which will do a lot for his legacy as well. So there are some wild card options and some guys who haven't yet won MVP outside of some of those guys who already have. Speaking of that, who do you think will win the MVP next year in the NBA, the 2021-2022 season? Get those votes in and those names in the comment section down below. Joe Johnson's nephew, what would be the most fun teams for Damian Lillard to play on? Any team, because Damian Lillard is one of the GOATs. This guy is just an absolute bucket getter, and in addition to Steph Curry, maybe the best go-to elite scoring option late in games, and a guy who will just take your heart out, right out of your soul, and just snatch it while being a cold-blood killer and not care about it at all. Damian Lillard on teams like the Boston Celtics, maybe you'd have to give up a player like Jaylen Brown, which honestly might be able to get it done, but Dame with Jason Tatum, shoot. How about a team like the Los Angeles Lakers? You might have to trade away Anthony Davis to bring Dame back. Maybe that happens as well. Dallas Mavericks, you team Dame up with Luka Doncic. I actually think that's a fit that works. You'd have to figure out the usage rate just a bit. Those are the teams that I'm looking at as far as Damian Lillard fits, but any team that goes after Dame will be lucky to have him. New York Knicks, another team I'd really like to see go after Damian Lillard. Maybe the Philadelphia 76ers as well. So predict it for us. Where is Dame going to play next year? Is he going to be in Portland? Is he going to go to some of those aforementioned teams? Let us know down below. Make sure you're subscribed to Chat Sports and let this be your off-season hub for everything going on across the NBA. We're bringing you the latest NBA news and rumors, the latest free agency rumors, signings, any trades that happen. We're continuing to cover the NBA Finals as well, and we're trying to get to 250,000 subscribers. Someday, we want to get to 1 million, but right now our goal, 250,000. So hit that red subscribe button down below or go to youtube.com/chatsportstv. Last question in this mailbag coming from Justin Archer. Who will be the biggest bust in 2021? The biggest bust. I think so. Scotty Barnes out of Florida State has just been soaring up draft boards. Some people have him as a top 5 pick. I like Scotty Barnes. Think he's a good prospect. Think the athletic skill set is polarizing. He can guard multiple positions. He can run the floor really well. He's an insane athlete. But any draft prospect who can't shoot at all from the wing spot, which is what he'd probably expected to play, really concerns me. So if he's a top 5 guy, Scotty Barnes could be a bust in the 2021 NBA draft. So that is my answer to that question, the last one on this mailbag.